بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وبعد. This here is جدول وحالات إعراب الأسماء المعربة. This is a chart of the states of analysis of the أسماء that are معربة. The words, the nouns if you wish, that are analyzed. Remember, there are some that are مبنية. Whenever we come across an ism that is mabni, we wouldn't say that it is marfu', we would say it's in halatul rafa'. We wouldn't say that it's mansub, we would say it's in halatul nasb. And we wouldn't say it's majrur, we would say it's in halatul jar, even if it's at any of these positions. So if you look at this chart we have here on the right, al-marfu'at, al-asma' al-marfu'at, al-mansubat, and al-majrurat. And within each column, I put a list of the most popular states of words that are marfu here, in this here, and this one mansub, and then majrur. There are only 3 states in which an ism would be majrur, or in a state of jar. So just quickly, just to look from just going over the chart, we have 7 states that the word is marfu'. By default, by the way, by default يكون الاسم مرفوعا. And you need a reason to make it mansub or majrur. But also there are certain reasons that make it marfu'. For example, when it's fa'il, when you have a verbal sentence and you have a fa'il, the fa'il is marfu'. But we will study each one independently. I'm just going over the chart. Na'ibul fa'il is marfu' also. The substitute for the fa'il, that's when the verb is what we call mabniun lil majhul, when it's in the passive form. Al-mubtada'u, the mubtada is marfu' by default. Al-khabaru is marfu' by default. Ismu kana, remember kana is placed in front of al-jumlatul ismiya, and mubtada is called ismu kana, and it is marfu'. Wa akhawatuha, akhawatu kana, and we would look at akhawat literally means sisters, but it means similar words. Or also khabaru inna, the khabar of inna is marfu', wa akhawatuha, and the like of inna. And at-tawabi' al-arba'a, at-tawabi' lil-marfu', and we covered this already. This one we actually did cover before, because we talk about tawabi' al-arba'a. Actually, we talked about inna, khabaru inna, and khabaru kana before also, but we'll go over these briefly. States in which words are mansub are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, or 16. 15 or 16, how did I count it right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there are 15 states of a word. Al-maf'ulu bihi, that's the object. Al-maf'ulu al-mutlaqu, the masdar. We'll talk about each of these extensively in the sections. Al-maf'ulu fihi, when it's ظرف الزمان or when it's ظرف المكان. Both ظرف الزمان and ظرف المكان is also called al-maf'ulu fihi. Al-maf'ulu min ajlihi, the thing that is the object, the reasoning for the action, behind the action. Al-maf'ulu ma'ahu, the maf'ul with it. We'll explain that. Al-hal, the circumstances. التمييز differentiating. المستثنى exception. اسم لا النافية للجنس. لا النافية للجنس. We had mentioned that before, but we'll repeat it. The ism of it, that is originally the مبتدا, is منصوب. المنادى, the thing that is called, خبر كان وأخواتها. Whereas اسم كان وأخواتها is مرفوع. خبر كان وأخواتها is منصوب. اسم إن وأخواتها is منصوب. اسم وخبر ظننت وأخواتها. So ظننت affects both the اسم and the خبر and التوابع للمنصوب. So if you notice, for مرفوع we say التوابع للمرفوع are مرفوع. For منصوب التوابع للمنصوب are منصوب. And also for مجرور التوابع للمجرور are مجرور. So التوابع الأربعة will follow. So they would be in each section. There'll be مرفوع when the thing before is مرفوع. There'll be منصوب when the ism before it is منصوب. And there'll be مجرور if the one that preceded them is مجرور. For jar, there are two more situations where a word would be مجرور if حرف الجر is in front of it, or if it's مضاف. مضاف مضاف إليه. المجرور بالإضافة. المضاف إليه. So this is a quick chart of the states of analysis of the asma, and then we'll go ahead and launch into it. Sure.
Is the sir Sheikh, oh, sir, is the sorry, so in what's under marfu'a is, because I know when there's a mudaf and mudafun ilay, the mudafun ilay becomes majroor, but the mudaf still is marfu'a. Was that also in the list, or
no? You don't have to put that in the list. Why? Because the mudaf.
Default?
No, because the mudaf will have a grammatical position. So if the mudaf is fa'il, then it would be marfu'. If the mudaf is preceded by harf jar, it would be majroor. If the mudaf is maf'ulun bihi, it would be mansub. So it depends on what the position of the mudaf is. It's an ism. The mudaf and mudaf ilayh is seen as an ism, as one ism. Are you following me? So the part that is mudaf has to be analyzed based on its position. The mudaf ilayh will always be majroor. See that? But the mudaf would be analyzed based on its position in the sentence. So if I were to say, let me give you a simple example. Let's say we use the word kitabullahi. Kitabullahi. We say kitabu mudaf. لفظ الجلالة مضاف إليه مجرور وعلامة الجر الكسرة على آخره. كتاب الله. So if we were to make three sentences quickly, if we were to say Al-Qur'an Kitabullahi, the Quran is the book of Allah, then we'll say Al-Kitabu is مبتدأ مرفوع وعلامة الرفع ضمته على آخره. Kitabullahi خبر. See that? مرفوع وعلامة الرفع الضمة على آخره. If we were to make a different sentence, if we were to say حفظت كتاب الله, I memorized the book of Allah, we'll say حفظت فعل وفاعل والمفعول به كتاب الله مفعول به منصوب. كتاب الله. We say كتاب مفعول به منصوب لفظ الجلالة مجرور بالإضافة. If we were to say نظرت إلى كتاب الله, I looked at the book of Allah, then we would say إلى حرف جر كتابي مجرور بحرف الجر إلى and لفظ الجلالة مضاف إليه مجرور بالإضافة. So the mudaf will be analyzed based on its position in the sentence. Let's go ahead and take things one at a time. So the position of asma that are marfu', this is grammatical rule number 25, al-marfu'atu min al-asma. So we'll go through those 7 that I listed there. Al-fa'ilu. When the word is fa'il, it's marfu'. For example, Allah says, وَقَتَلَ دَاوُودُ جَالُوتَ. So the subject in the verbal sentence, it is the one who performs the action. Dawood, in this case, alayhi salam, is the fa'il. So the way we analyze this, let me analyze this. و حرف العطف عطف جملتنا على جملة. قاتل فعل ماض مبني على الفتحة. داوود فاعل مرفوع وعلامة الرفع الضمة على آخره. Why do we say داوود and we do not say داوود? Because it's ممنوع من الصرف. It's forbidden from having tanween, and that we already covered in a separate section. جالوت مفعول به منصوب وعلامة النصب الفتحة على آخره. Why it has only one fatha is because it's also ممنوع من الصرف. So, and David killed Jalut. David is the one who did the killing, hence the word David is marfu'. The sign of Raf here is a single dhamma because the word Dawood is forbidden from having tanween. I had written out that explanation. I don't know why I wrote it out, but I did. نائب الفاعل نائب الفاعل the object of the passive verb. The subject of the verb is not mentioned and the object takes the place of the subject. The term itself means the substitute for the subject. The word naib means representative. For example, if someone were to come and say, where is the principal for the school? I would say he's not here, but ana naibuhu. I am his representative. I take his place when he is absent. So if we were to look at the verb قتل, Allah says in Quran, قتل الإنسان أكفره. قتل literally means to be killed, come from the verb قتل, he killed. So if we were to say قتل الله الإنسان, Allah killed the person. قتل here is used to mean to curse, to curse or to destroy. قتل الإنسان, man is destroyed or cursed. Destruction to man, literally man was killed. The subject of the verb Allah is not mentioned, as it is not important who did the action as much as it is important that the action has been done. The original structure of the sentence would have been, for instance, قتل الله الإنسان. That Allah killed the man or the person. The subject of the action has not been mentioned, that's the word Allah, has not been mentioned and is substituted by the object. Hence the word al-insan is marfu and the sign of raf is the dhamma. Al-mubtada'u, so here we have al-fa'il wa na'ibu al-fa'il al-marfu'. And the examples of those are plentiful, abundant in Quran. Also for al-mubtada'u, of course the word al-mubtada means the thing that you began with, that was begun with. Yeah. Muhammadun Rasulullah, the way we do analysis of this. This is an ayah of Quran, by the way. Muhammadun mubtada'un marfu' wa alamatu raf' dhammatu ala akhiri. Rasulullahi khabarun marfu'un wa alamatu raf' dhammatu ala akhirihi. Now we say ala akhirihi even though akhirihi is the word Allah, because the mudaf, whenever, remember this, whenever you look at mudaf and mudaf ilay, the mudaf ilay will always be majroor and the i'rab is done on the mudaf. Always the analysis is done on the mudaf, not the mudaf ilay. The mudaf ilay is always majroor. And then the entire mudaf ilay is seen as one word, and the ending of the mudaf is seen as the ending of the word. So this is how idafa works. Possession. So here, again, I use this al-khabar. I use the same example to make it simple. So Muhammad is marfu because it's mubtada, and Rasul is marfu because it's khabar. اسم كان وأخواتها, and we went over أخوات كان before, but uh, all of them, the mubtada, the ism, which is originally the mubtada. So remember, كان وأخواتها are considered as incomplete. أفعال ناقصة, incomplete verbs. Why do we call them incomplete verb? Because a verb needs a fa'il. A verb needs a fa'il. So if you have a verb, you need to have a subject. But these verbs don't have subject. What they have are jumla ismiya coming after them. Excuse me. So the mubtada is called ismu kana. We're not calling it fa'ilu kana. We call it ismu kana. So this sentence originally is Allahu ghafurun rahimun. Allah is forgiven, merciful. Excuse me, and merciful. But when we put kana in front, kan Allahu ghafuran rahiman. Allah was ghafur and rahim. We say و حرف العطف عطف جملة على جملة كان فعل ناقص مبني على ماض مبني على الفتحة, and we don't say Allah al-fa'il. We say first of all, we don't say Allah, we say lafdul jalala. We don't say lafdul jalala is the fa'il. We say lafdul jalala is ismu kana, ismu kana. And then we say ghafuran is khabaru kana, and it's mansub. And rahiman is badal min ghafur. Rahim is badal. كان الله غفورا كان الله رحيما. Some people make the mistake of saying rahim is sifa of ghafur, and that's a mistake. Why it's a mistake? Because the sifa never takes the place of the mawsuf. But in this case, it's permissible for you to say وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا, or for you to say وَكَانَ اللَّهُ رَحِيمًا. So Rahiman does not need that Ghafuran we mentioned before for it to be correct. I just want to explain a subtlety here in Quran, in the Arabic language, and we will study this inshallah as one of the lessons after finishing with this chart of analysis of the Asma. Is something called al-sifatul mushabbaha bism al-fa'il, nouns that resemble ism al-fa'il, the doer of the action. The word ghafur and the word rahim are asma mushabbaha bism al-fa'il. What does it mean? Ghafur, maybe I should leave this lesson for later. I just wanted to explain the utilization of kana. Allah was forgiving and merciful. You know what? I'll do it and I'll repeat it in more detail later. So Allah was forgiving and merciful. What this is saying here is that these characteristics of being Ghafur and being Rahim, these names and attributes, belong to Allah even before He performed the action. So Allah is Ghafur as embedded natural characteristics of His, even if He doesn't perform it. بغير حدث. So we call this, we say this is الصفة المشبهة لإثبات الفعل لا حدوثي. So we use it for establishing the characteristics, not for establishing an occurrence of the action. For example, if I were to say طبخت فأنا طابخ, I cooked and I'm a cook. I'm referring to the time that I cooked, the incident, the occurrence of the incident. But if you wanted to say someone is a cook, he's a chef, even though he didn't cook. So let's say there's culinary school and you went to culinary school and you studied how to cook, but you never cooked, right? Well, that's not possible because you will practice while you're cooking. but you never practice it as a profession. We would still call you a cook even though you haven't cooked as yet, because you have the ability. It's embedded within you. We'll call it sifatun mushabbaha or sifatun lazima. It is a characteristics that you have, whether you practice the action or not. So, for example, a person, maybe might be easier if we say somebody studied medicine, right? Imagine someone studied human anatomy and medicine and how the body works and surgery and so on, but he never did it, right? That is possible. Of course, it's not practical, but it's possible. So the person never practiced being a doctor, and then he graduated and got his degree. Is it okay for him to call himself a doctor even though he hasn't doctored anyone as yet? The answer is yes, because it's now sifa lazima for him. He's always a doctor even though when he's swimming. He's a doctor when he's eating. He's a doctor even when he's sleeping, because that is a characteristic that is embedded within him. It's part of him now. So when we say he's a doctor, we're not saying it because he actually mended someone, cured someone, or healed someone. We're saying it because that is an attribute that's built in within him. The same for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or understanding Allah. When Allah says, وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا, Allah wants to tell you that He's forgiving and merciful now, but it's nothing new for Him. That's why Allah used the phrase, وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. Allah always was. It's as if Allah is saying, you know, the fact that you see Allah practicing forgiveness and merciful, don't be surprised. He always was, even before there was any, even though there was any practice, He always was. And that's the beauty of the phrase, وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا وَلَمْ يَخْلُقْ خَلْقًا حَتَّى يَغْفِرَ لَهُمْ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ رَحِيمًا وَلَمْ يَكُنْ هُنَاكَ خَلْقٌ حَتَّى يَرْحَمَهُم. Allah was forgiving even though before He created His creation and there was no one who needed forgiveness. And Allah was Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim even before He created the creation. Sorry, I take back Ar-Rahman. He was Rahim before He created the creation and had mercy upon them. So these are what we call sifatun lazima, or sifatun mushabbaha bism al-fa'il. I just wanted to explain why Allah said Allah was. خبر إن وأخواتها. So the original form of the sentence is inna Allah. Allahu wasi'un alimun. We would say لفظ الجلالة مبتدأ مرفوع وعلامة الرفع الضمة على آخره. واسع خبر مرفوع وعلامة الرفع الضمة على آخره. عليم بدل لواسع، والبدل من التوابع الأربع، فواسع مرفوع إذا عليم مرفوع. Because عليم can take the place of واسع, you can say Allah واسع or Allah عليم. When we put inna in front of that, what we want to do is emphasize the entire sentence. So we say inna Allah wasi'un, and then the mubtada become ismu inna. Sorry, what did I do here? This is supposed to be ismu inna. No. I'm talking about marfu'. Yeah, so ismu inna is mansub and khabaru inna is marfu'. Yeah. So I'm looking at khabaru inna so far as it being marfu'. I'm not analyzing the whole sentence. Yeah. So we say inna تدخل على الجملة الاسمية فتنصب المبتدأ اسما لها, and it makes the mubtada mansub as the ism of inna, and it makes the khabar marfu' as khabaru inna. So we would say wasi'un khabaru inna marfu'un. That's number 6. Number 7, of course, at-tawab al-arba. We did this extensively before, but that's just to review it quickly. At-tawab al-arba. Who can remember at-tawab al-arba? What are they? The 4 followers.
The conjunct is one.
The word that has been conjoined is one order. The conjunct, yeah.
The harflat, yeah. The adjective.
The adjective of sifatu.
And the emphasis, at-tawkid.
التوكيد.
And the fourth is, can't remember the fourth.
Al-badal. So we had it
Al-badal,
as the
yeah.
we had it as the third, but that's for example wasi'a. Alimun here is badal. So we say inna Allah wasi'un alim. I use the same example as above. The way we analyze this is we say inna for emphasis ناسخة تدخل على الجملة الاسمية للتوكيد. So inna is placed in front of the nominal sentence to emphasize the sentence. Excuse me. Or to emphasize, actually it's more technical than that. It's to emphasize إسناد الخبر إلى الفاعل إلى المبتدأ. إسناد الخبر إلى المبتدأ. The association of the khabar with the mubtada. Al-wus'a to Allah, that Allah is wasi'. So indeed Allah, so we say the word Allah is ismu inna منصوب وعلامة النصب الفتحة على آخره واسع خبر إن مرفوع and عليم we say it's بدل for واسع والبدل يتبع المبدل منه في الإعراب فواسع مرفوع إذا عليم مرفوع. So this sentence, what badal means, you can say inna Allah wasi'un or you can say inna Allah alimun. So those are the states in which the words are marfu'. Just to go over them quickly again. The fa'il is marfu'. Na'ibul fa'il is marfu'. Al-mubtada'u is marfu'. Al-khabaru is marfu'. Ismu kana wa akhawatuha is marfu'. خبر إن وأخواتها is مرفوع and التوابع للمرفوع are مرفوع also. So those are the 7 cases when the asma are marfu'a. Is that understood? Of course, for this you'll have to go back to that for this to get back details in its own section which are above. This, by the way, much of this we did already, excuse me, but we're putting them together, compiling them as a bird's eye view, a comprehensive list to see all the positions in which the asma are marfu'a, and now we will do mansuba, which is a little lengthy. I will stop this